An unemployed man, broke and without direction, started waking up at 3 a.m. every single day. No one believed it would change anything, but just 2 years later, he was making more money than the very people who once looked down on him. It sounds simple, but the truth behind those 3 a.m. mornings is something not everyone has the courage to face. If you're watching this late at night, maybe you're stuck just like he once was. Watch until the end, because there's something there that might make you never look at 3 a.m. the same way again. He once believed his life was already over. Every day looked exactly the same. Waking up late, doing a dead-end job, then coming back to his room with a sense of emptiness. No one expected anything from him, and deep down, neither did he. But the scariest part wasn't being broke. It was that he had started to accept it as normal. That night, while the entire city was asleep, he stared at the ceiling and realized a hard truth. If tomorrow looked the same as today, then 5 years from now, everything would still be exactly the same. No miracle was coming. No one was going to save him. And in that moment, right before 3 a.m., he understood. He either had to change or stay stuck in that life forever. For the first time in years, he didn't go back to sleep. 3 a.m. The room was so quiet he could hear every beat of his own heart. No phone, no noise, no one around. Just him and the truth he had been avoiding for years. He sat up, not because he felt motivated, but because he was exhausted with his old life. No big plan, no clear goals. He just asked himself one simple question. What can I do today to be just a little better than yesterday? Then he picked up his phone and started searching, learning something, no matter how small. No one applauded. No one knew. But that morning, for the first time, he felt like he was moving forward. If you've ever had nights like that, nights where you couldn't sleep because you kept thinking about your life, try just once not going back to sleep. From that day on, 3 a.m. was no longer a moment of despair. It became a habit, nothing glamorous. He was still tired, still sleepy, still had days when he wanted to quit. But every time that happened, he did just one thing: sit down and start. 3 o'clock, wake up. 3:10, open the laptop. 3:15, learn a new skill. No need to be perfect. No need to be good right away. Just don't stop. In the early days, he understood nothing. Everything felt hard, but he kept repeating it day after day. While others slept, he learned. While others scrolled on their phones, he practiced. No one saw it. No one cared. But those quiet mornings were silently rebuilding his life, piece by piece. In the first few weeks, nothing happened. No money, no results, no recognition. There were mornings when he sat in front of the screen, not even knowing what he was doing. And at times he thought, maybe I'm just the same as before. Maybe I can't really change. But he kept going. After 1 month, he started to understand the basics. After 3 months, he could do small things he couldn't do before. After 6 months, he earned his first dollar from a skill he taught himself. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make him realize, I can do this. That feeling changed everything. After 1 year, the income from his new skill became stable. He was no longer completely dependent on his old job. After 2 years, he left that job. Not because he was 100% certain, but because he no longer wanted to go back to who he used to be. Nothing came overnight. Sure, but every 3 a.m. morning kept compounding into a completely different life. If you're in the stage where nothing seems to be happening, Don't stop. That's the stage where most people quit. And if you're still here listening, comment "keep going" as a reminder to yourself you haven't gone far enough yet to see the results. 2 years later, his life no longer looked the same. He didn't become rich overnight, but he gained something he had never had before: choice. He could decide the work he did, the time he lived by, and the direction of his life. His family started to see him differently. The people who once doubted him began asking how he did it. But the most important thing wasn't money or recognition. It was that, for the first time in his life, he was no longer stuck. 3 a.m. isn't the secret. Plenty of people are awake at that hour, but their lives don't change. The difference isn't the time, it's the decision you make when no one is watching. That's the moment you choose to go back to sleep or sit up and begin. He didn't succeed because he was more special than others. He simply did one thing that most people don't do long enough: keep going, even when there are no results. 3 a.m. is just a symbol. What truly changed his life was that he stopped running from himself. If you're waiting for the perfect moment to start, it may never come. But an early morning, when everything is quiet, might be where everything begins. And then he realized something he had never understood before. Life doesn't change when you feel motivated. It changes when you stay disciplined, even after the motivation is gone. Those 3 a.m. mornings were no longer a challenge. They became part of who he was. No one forced him to do it, but he knew that the moment he stopped, he would go back to his old self. So he kept going. Not because he was afraid of failing, but because he had already seen a better version of himself. And once you've seen that, you can't go back to your old life anymore. You don't have to start at 3 a.m. But you do need a moment where you decide, enough. No more procrastinating, no more excuses. If you're still here, don't just listen and move on. Pick one small thing you will do tomorrow and do it. No overthinking. Comment "start" if you're truly serious. Not to prove it to anyone else, but to make sure there's no turning back. Now, he still wakes up at 3 a.m., but it's no longer to escape his old life. It's to maintain the life he has built. Those mornings no longer feel heavy. They've become the quietest part of his day, a time to think, to keep learning, and to remind himself why he started. No one laughs at him anymore. No one doubts him anymore. But most importantly, he no longer doubts himself. 3 a.m. used to be the lowest point of his life, and that same 3 a.m. became the starting point for everything. If you ever find yourself awake at that hour, don't rush back to sleep. It might not be insomnia. It might be an opportunity to start again, in a way you've never dared to try. If you've made it this far, you didn't watch this video by accident. There's something inside you that wants to change. You just haven't started yet. And the truth is, you don't need a perfect plan. You just need a decision strong enough to begin. Tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, if I wake up at 3 a.m., what will I do differently? And if that moment comes, don't hesitate. Don't overthink it. Just sit up and start, even if it's only for 10 minutes. You don't have to be great. You just have to not stop. If you're truly serious about changing your life, comment 3 a.m. right now. Not for anyone else to see, but as a commitment to yourself. This time, you won't quit.